home buyers, all of our homeowners that are out there listening to us and that want information on what they need to do in order to purchase your first home. We're in some interesting times, Juan, of course, where you guys are probably hearing a lot of different information and different comments and about what's going to happen in the future of real estate. And so today it is more important than ever for us to give you information so that you guys can hopefully make a good decision about your future in real estate, and hopefully, as a homeowner that you desire to be, that you push forward towards that final goal. So today we're going to talk about some great general information about home buying in this current market. So Juan, many of you, again, might know him already from some of the videos that we've done. He is a loan officer here in Nevada, and he manages the numbers. You manage everything that has to do with getting pre-qualified, right? And so, which is really, my friends, one of the main things that we usually suggest in your process as far as when you decide, hey, I want to start looking at home, we're usually going to suggest, hey, let's talk to a bank, let's talk to a lender, and let's see where you stand today in qualifying. So that would be the first step. And so it's going to be super important to talk about the loan, to talk about what type of things there are out there for all of you first-time home buyers. So Juan, tell us a little bit about the market. Tell us a little bit about the loan structure for our first-time home buyers that are wanting to get information and details about it.
Absolutely. As Nora is saying, there's a lot of changes in the market. Definitely home prices are elevated, and also interest rates as of beginning of this year. So it's a good idea to start with the pre-approval process so that you at least have an estimate of what it would cost for you to buy a house at 300, buy a house at 350 before you start shopping around.
The other thing, and we're gonna try to make this, guys. We're gonna give you 30 minutes, and then we're gonna let you get back to your wonderful Wednesday. But what we wanted to do is make sure that we give you some important information and things that you might be hearing out there. One of the things right now that people are hearing, of course, Juan, is, well, is it really even worth worth our time to buy a house right now? Because we're hearing a lot about real estate. We're hearing a lot about the loan stuff. What would you say to those home buyers right now out there that are thinking of that and they're saying, well, I don't think I want to buy right now, I want to hold off? We're seeing the market shift for sure, and we're seeing that the market might actually be a good market for buyers, which it hasn't been for a long time, right? So what type of opportunities are we seeing for them today that maybe have not been there for them in a long time?
Right. So one of the biggest things that I would say right now would be closing cost. Definitely a few months ago, closing costs was definitely not a subject that would even be brought up, when submitting an offer. So now people can ask for closing costs. There's a lot of sellers that are giving concessions towards buyers' closing costs, and that helps either in reducing the amount of money out of pocket, and also enables them to use some of that money for buying down the rate, which would help them get a lower mortgage payment.
So concessions, we call them concessions, we call them seller help, and we're seeing a lot of that right now, right? And talk to us about first-time home buyer programs. You're still seeing programs out there for home buyers. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, correct, Nora. One of the programs that we're using the most right now is called Home is Possible. The rates had actually increased quite a bit, and they had a little bit of a pullback, so I don't know how long that's going to last before they maybe push it back up a little bit. Right now, we're still seeing the low fives, mid fives for that program, so it's still within a range that people can afford the payment for a house.
So there are programs for all of you first-time home buyers, which is awesome, and there is also help from sellers. So those are two big important features or aspects of this market that are important to mention, because many people 6 months ago, people were needing a lot more cash to purchase, right, Juan? So they were having to come in with their closing costs, down payment, be extremely competitive. And today, what would you say something that somebody out there that wants to buy a house, maybe what amount of money would you say would be something that they could probably work with so that they can get started in owning a home?
I would say, considering all the, down payment assistance, seller credits, concessions, whatever, your agent prefers to call it, I would say would range anywhere from a couple $1,000s to, about $15,000 for a property in a medium price point of about 350 is what I would say, because I'm using 350 and actually 349 500 because that's the limit that the Home is Possible program is capped at. So anybody that would want to use that assistance would have to buy something that is 349 or less.
So I hope you heard, guys, that part. So with as little as $2,000, you could probably become a homeowner today. That definitely has not been the case for a long time. People have needed to really save a lot. So this market is definitely helping and really allowing you to come in with a lot less money up front. And so a lot of people are like, well, yeah, Nora, but what if the market changes? What if, we hit a recession? What if we are in a bubble? There's a lot of things that people are mentioning out there. But the question here is, my friends, with $2,000, $2,500 minimum, let's say $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, you're able to own your own home. And I understand that in the future things might change, prices might reduce, but we've spoken about this outside of cameras, and we're both thinking, yeah, the market might have an adjustment, but not necessarily will it fall 50%, in value. So what that means is that you're still needing to go out there and pay rent. You're still having to put a deposit, first and last month's rent usually. So you're probably needing the same amount of money you need to rent is the same amount of money you need to buy right now. And so we feel that it really is a good time, definitely with the incentives that there are for you, that it's a good time, at least I feel that it's a good time for you to move forward with that dream of owning a property. Because what we focus on is really, what I tell my clients is we focus on what is really comfortable and a payment that you're going to be able to live with. So that's really where you're looking at calculating the future. Because at the end of the day, if you're looking at, timing the market, we've talked about this as well, and maybe you can talk a little bit about that, Juan, too. Timing the market when you don't own a home yet, it's going to be very complicated, and you're losing out probably years and years of just renting and throwing that money in rental payments. So timing, I understand that it's awesome to be able to, fall in the right time. But when you are renting and you decide to purchase, when you're ready, that's the right time. And so what we're seeing right now is that there are people that are still buying, and they're still, making as long as their payments are within their standards and their family's needs, they're moving forward and purchasing, and they're doing it with way less money than they would have 3, 4, 5 months ago. So anything you want to share with us about that, Juan? So when people are definitely talking about, why would we move forward in purchasing a property? Why should we move on this now if we're hearing all this negativity?
Yes, I think you pretty much said it all, Nora. You definitely covered it. I would say, it's definitely very difficult to time the market, even if there's, very obvious things out there that can point to a recession or prices coming down. We're seeing, a lot of people reducing their prices right now, giving seller concessions. So a lot of people take that as we're already in it. The market is crashing. It's going to go down, but we don't know. It's not something that we can know exactly what's going to happen. What I would say is the markets these past couple of years have changed very dramatically. It's hard for us to tell what's going to happen next month, a couple of months from now. But like Nora says, if you're in a time where you're ready to buy, it would just be a matter of, looking at the numbers, comparing what you would have to do to rent a home, or maybe your current situation, maybe your landlord is raising already the rent on you. Obviously, if you're in a position where you can buy, and especially if you can do it with not too much money out of pocket, it might not be such a bad situation for you
Right.
down the road. And again, we don't know what's going to happen with the market. A lot of people that are reducing their prices and having to do that is because they probably listed above what they should have listed for. So
Right.
a lot of that is happening in the market right now. A lot of people overpriced, because they were everybody was assuming that the prices were just going up month after month after month. So everybody that's listed on the market recently in the last 30 to 60 days, a lot of those people are on the market overpriced, and that's the reality. So obviously we knew that the what was happening through the months where the market was super hot was not sustainable.
Right.
Prices cannot keep on increasing at those levels. People were just paying very high premiums for houses during a period of a couple of months.
Right.
And we just know that's not sustainable. So obviously, the reverse effect is that, somebody that listed, basing their list price off of the market is going to increase another, $10, $15, $20,000 by the time, by the time my house hits the market or within a couple of weeks, which was happening for a
Right.
period of time. But now it's different. The market has cooled off, and it's normal. It had to happen. But that doesn't mean that we're going to go into recession or that the prices are going to get slashed by 50%. So we just don't know. And obviously, house prices can go down, but we just don't know how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. And if you're in a time where you are tired of renting, you're spending a lot of money on your rent. It's just a matter of you getting numbers, getting information about, how much you qualify, how much the mortgage would cost you, how much money out of pocket, and maybe there is a solution for you in the marketplace, especially with sellers that need to sell. They're in a situation that they need to sell. There might be an opportunity for you to negotiate a deal that makes sense, where the
Right.
numbers make sense. And like I always say, Nora, at the end of the day, as long as the numbers make sense, we're not really here to predict what's going to happen with the market. If the numbers make sense, then you should be in a good situation, whether the market goes up, whether it goes down. And there's always solutions down the road to maybe higher interest rates right now. If you lock yourself in, you lock interest rate right now, and the payment's not maybe the best situation for you, but it's something that you can afford. If rates go down in the future, you can always jump in and refinance that mortgage and get a way more and get a more affordable payment. So there's
Correct.
always solutions to things. It's just a matter of getting the right information, making sure that the numbers work for you. And, like Nora says, if the time is right, I don't see a reason why wait and time it, because we don't know how long it's going to take for something to happen where, that situation could change for you.
Absolutely. There are a lot of variables, and everyone has they pull information from different sources as far as statistics on unemployment, things that you would think, okay, it's a clear indication. But right now, as everyone, there's a lot of important sources are reporting. It's not clear that we are by any means going to hit a recession or a bubble, and that your home prices are going to fall 50, 60, 70%. So it's important for you to hear out there all of the information, because we're definitely not telling you not to listen. It's important for you to listen, get educated, but also for you to really understand that if you are renting, and we know that here locally where 50% of the population is really a renter here, for example, in Las Vegas area, in the greater Las Vegas area. So we know there's a lot of you that are still out there renting. We know that really playing the rental game there's no benefit for you. And whether the market goes up, goes down, it doesn't really matter, because what you're focused on and what you probably are listening to is the rental market is absolutely terrible. It's very aggressive and rents are going up. And the rents are going up and there's no cap, right? So we've heard this from you guys when we get calls is people's rent went up $800 from one moment to the next. $800, $500 is really regular, normal that we're hearing. So at the end of the day, that's why we're saying if you are renting, you should absolutely move forward with that goal. If you can afford it right now, you have your job, everything's in line, and this is the right time, I would say move forward, especially because there are incentives in our market right now for you to go in with lower cash, right? So basically, Juan, to summarize it, what are we saying right now about the market for our buyers?
Definitely, pretty much what you summarized right now, Nora, and I think it's we're not here to to sell anybody, pressure anybody into buying or getting a mortgage right now, but I would just invite people to get informed, take a look at their numbers, and figure out if it's the right time for them to buy. Like I said, there's definitely going to be opportunities out there. The market's not crazy like it used to be 2 or 3 months ago. So there's definitely opportunities for first-time home buyers that don't have $40,000-$50,000 in the bank, which used to be pretty much kind of a requirement for you to have that kind of money set aside to buy a property. So now you're able to walk in with a lot less money.
Right.
Maybe the mortgage payment is not what you want, but there's things around that can be talked about that we can help you resolve. And maybe it's not the right time for you to buy your dream house, but like Nora says, renting, from where we come back, from where we come from, and our experience of finances and things like that is that renting for your whole life or a long period of your life doesn't really help you get ahead in terms of your financial future. So getting one step into owning a property, maybe it's not like I tell a lot of first-time home buyers, it doesn't have to be your first and last property that you buy. You can start small. Start small. If you're renting an apartment now, a lot of people feel that when they go from renting, they have to go and buy this perfect house. But if you're renting somewhere and it's not, you're there, it's not your property, and you feel like it's not ideal for you, and you're just renting. And then when you go buy a property, you have to, completely upgrade. But maybe if the numbers don't make sense at this particular time for you to go and buy that big property, that dream house, maybe you start small, and that can be investment property for you in the future, or you can sell that property down the road to get into the property that you really want. So just like any other type of investment tools, with real estate, you have to get started at one point or another. So we don't think that we wouldn't say that the market is in a situation where we completely would just say, do not do anything, just stay back and wait
Hold
and see
on
what
tight,
happens.
right? Stick,
Especially for first time
stay on
home
the
buyers.
sidelines. Absolutely.
Especially for first time home buyers, as people that are out there investing, that are buying properties cash, and they're maybe trying to time the market, because any little shift or move for them could be a huge impact. But as a first time home buyer, definitely it's a long term investment, it's a long term commitment. So I don't think that that whatever happens in the immediate future should be a huge factor, down the road, 5, 10, 15 years down the road. You look back and, for the most part, I don't think it should be a situation that's going to make a huge difference, But maybe, staying on the sidelines, sitting back, not not, jumping in, even if it's a small step, could be a huge factor if you have to, if you're priced out of the market or in a situation where, you don't buy now and you end up having to wait 5 or 10 years to get into for your first property. I think that's a bigger risk than, going to a property with very little money down and maybe it goes down 10, 15, 20, even 30%. Over time, more than likely that property is going to, regain its value over the next 10, 15, 20 years. So, like I said,
So-
just look at your numbers. If we don't want people to get into mortgages that they cannot afford. That's not what me and Nora are telling people. Hey, get excited and go buy something that you can afford. But I would just say, look at your numbers. If the numbers work, maybe there's different things that we can help out with. Maybe looking at things from a different angle, and maybe there is a solution for you. So I would say, that definitely the only answer would just a lot of people are saying, like, just wait until next year, wait 6 months, wait a year, and then see what happens. I don't think that, especially if you're in a situation where you want to buy now, I don't think that necessarily is the only answer for you.
Or the best approach. So in summary, my friends, there's a lot of opportunities for you. There's really an opportunity to come in with less money out of pocket. That's number one. There's down payment assistance programs for you still. And then most importantly is, I think you said something that's important, is you don't have to start with your dream home. It can be your starter home. It can be that first step that you take towards home ownership and just getting you out of the wheel, what do they say, the rat race of being a renter and just living, month to month, but actually having something that you're working towards with that, with that monthly payment that you're making on your mortgage. On your home, there's a goal, right? And it's a 30-year goal, but before you know it, all the cycles in real estate come into play here in the next 10, 15 years, and you're going to probably, many of you are going to be extremely happy that you've made the decision. So the goal today is just to give you a little bit of an idea that the market for buyers is absolutely still there. It's still very much active. There's still a lot of people that are still making the decision to own, to buy and to purchase right now. So if you guys have been sitting on the sidelines, or if you've been a little doubtful, I understand, absolutely I do. But we definitely want you to, jump back in and really do your research, but jump back in and really finish your process, because becoming a homeowner right now, rates are still, we saw that the rates dropped, Juan, I know last couple of weeks a little bit, they had gone up tremendously. We're hearing that they're going to go up later in the year. But right now, what we're seeing is just a good, technically with rates and all the seller incentives we're seeing in the market and the down payment assistance, we're seeing a very good environment for all home buyers, especially all you first-time home buyers. So our suggestion is move forward, get to the finish line, my friends. Don't give up, and just get the information and absolutely buy something that's comfortable, that's not completely out of your range. So that way, it's just a stepping stone towards the direction that you want for yourself. So again, I hope that this video, really has served its purpose, which is to give you information. We are here, my friends, 7 days a week to help you assist, answer any questions you may have. We're going to definitely be working on creating a lot more content for you guys on, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We create a lot of content, but we usually do it in Spanish. And so we've been asked to start creating content in English. And so that's what we're here to do, is just kind of bring what's happening in the real estate in real time directly to you guys, whether you're home, working, wherever you're at. So please, we welcome questions, we welcome comments, whatever you may have for us, please let us know. We want to make this into something that's really truthfully useful for you, and it helps you in all your real estate moves that you're going to make, right? So again, thank you so much, Juan, for being here today. Anything you want to say to finish off today?
No, I think we covered, I think what the message that we wanted to get across. So whoever's listening, I appreciate you guys giving us the time. And,
Exactly.
have a good night.
Exactly. Thank you. Have a wonderful night, guys. Juan Aguirre, Americana Home Loans, Nora Aguirre, Century 21 Americana. Have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.
I think there was anybody in there. On, right?
Hold on.
So this is